Hello everybody and welcome back to Space Engine. Now today we have, I don't know, some stuff to do I suppose. Same old, where I just get lost in the galaxy and try not to look at things that break the graphics, such as comets and some stars. I really hope they fix that because it's incredibly annoying and I don't actually know if it's the game or if it's my computer, but I can't seem to fix it, so I don't know. Anyways, we're going to start out by going to a requested locale. And it was actually an interesting one. 0-0-0-478. Okay, so that it does exist. I was asked to go to this giant galaxy, and then I was asked to find a spiral galaxy close to it. Oh, maybe it's this one. No, that's not a spiral. Or was it? I was told to, like, go to this galaxy and then find a galaxy that looks like the one that I was on in the other episode, and then land on it. And I don't know if he meant to go into this galaxy, or to find a spiral that was near it. I don't know. I don't actually know. It wasn't terribly clear, but I can't find a galaxy close by that would have an interesting vantage point. Unless it's this one? Oh wait, that looks familiar. I'll do a couple things, just so I know. Oh shit. I'm not entirely sure what was meant by the statement, so I'm just gonna do what I think was. I don't know. I just don't know. Let's go to this hot desert. Oof. Okay, it's a little too warm. Let's go to this cold ice world. That's better. Right. Where's the galaxy? There it is. And lucky for us, it's on the night side of the planet. Now it's like, I don't know, you have to like look at it from a planet's vantage point. It was, I don't know. Maybe he meant to actually go into the galaxy. I'll do that too. I'm just doing what I thought he said. That actually is quite the galaxy in the sky. However, I have a suspicion I'm doing this wrong. So we're gonna get out of here and let's go to the galaxy itself. Because this is actually a really nice and very large galaxy. It's also very blue, so I can tell there's a lot of star formation in this one. Ooh. Wow. This galaxy is, holy hell, look at that. Alright, let's find a non-binary, there we go. Let's find a planet that has a solid surface. A warm slate, no, that's pleasant, let's go there. And then we snoop on around to the dark side. And then I just crash into it and land. Wow. That has our galaxy beat by the beauty factor. No. See if I can just do this. There we go. Wow. That's quite the galaxy. Well, we're actually kind of on the edge, so it's not going to be entirety of the sky. That's pretty. Let's get off the planet. Scroll wheel away. There we go. Wow, you know what? I'm going to hang out in this galaxy for a while, because it's really pretty. A lot of blue stars. Um, cool. Let's look for planets with life. The Earth has life. I'm quite fond of the Earth. Everyone keeps talking about it being destroyed by cataclysms here and there. There's actually been, there's been so many end of the world prophecies. Most of the major ones starting back at like 60 AD or something like that, and it's like every few years since then there's just been predictions of the end of the world. Ah, there we go. And none of them have come true. So it's like, you know, people are like, oh, the end is coming. It's like, well, are you sure? Because we're not seeing any life. I mean, any end of the world. This one has life, and this one has life. Let's go to this one first. Of course, one of the most annoying ones, I personally find, is the Nibiru. What isn't tab? What is it? Right-click info. I thought it was tab. Anyways, this one is abiogenic, marine, terrestrial, organic. Carbon dioxide, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur dioxide, argon, water, and krypton. Cool. But no, is the like the Nibiru cataclysm, or Nibiru or whatever, where it's like people who seem to think that some planet named Nibiru is going to come and destroy the Earth. And well, like all conspiracy theories and other bullshit ideas, if you just look at the source of the idea, you realize how stupid it actually is. Because Nibiru, the name itself, it's an ancient Babylonian term that was like, it meant like the equinox or something like that, and it was also used to describe celestial bodies such as Venus, Jupiter, one of the stars like Fralhelm, whatever it's called, like just a number of very bright objects in the sky. So one could argue that Nibiru is a planet because, you know, Venus was called Nibiru and Jupiter was called Nibiru. But in terms of like the planet that's going to come and kill us all, no, that doesn't actually exist. But where the idea came from is actually really funny, because if you look back, it started in like 1997 or something like that. Well, it started in 1995, actually 95. This woman named Nancy Leiter, she made this website called Zeta Talk, where she talked about how aliens from the Zeta Reticuli star system were talking to her, and this person is severely mentally ill, like severely. And she talked about how in 1997 the Hale-Bopp comet, which to her, according to her, did not exist, and was actually a cover by the government to cover up Nibiru, which was going to come and destroy the Earth in 1997, and that the comet itself doesn't exist, and that we won't see it, and it's just a ruse by the government. And then, of course, the Hale-Bopp comet did show up, and it was one of the brightest and longest-lasting comets that literally everybody on Earth saw. And she was like, oh, well, I guess it must have been something else, and it was actually, you know, government cover-ups and stuff like that. And then she changed her prophecy to 2003. It's like, oh, the comet's going to come in 2003, or Nibiru's going to come and kill us all, and the government's going to hide the fact so they can keep us locked in cities so that everyone dies, and it would be, you know, again, not actually explaining any of the logic here, because there is none. This is a very interesting terrain. And then, of course, 2003 came and went. Nibiru did not come and kill us all. And then, of course, she said, oh, well, I was just doing something in government conspiracy, and then I'm not actually going to reveal the actual time Nibiru is going to show up because, you know, the government will stop us and put us in camps and kill us all. And so people were like, you know, oh, 2012, that's when it's going to happen, right? Ooh, pretty. So, of course, people were like, Nibiru's going to come 2012. And actually, there's a lot of videos on YouTube that still claim this, that weren't taken down in embarrassment. And they were all so stupid. Like, I feel bad for these people, because the people who believe in these conspiracies generally do have mental illness, usually a paranoid delusion disorder. But, so I don't want to make fun of them, but it's just, it's so funny, it's hard not to. And anyways, at one point, she said, same person again, this ill woman, made a comment where it's like, Nibiru's coming this time, you have to, like, prepare yourself. And then she told people to euthanize their pets so they wouldn't suffer in the post-cataclysmic world. And then she went and killed her dog. And, people who believed her actually decided to do this because they were also afraid. And actually, I lived in California at the time. I was really, really young, though. And my mother would talk about how people who used to live in the neighborhood with us, a bunch of them, like, killed themselves because of this conspiracy bullshit. And it's like, alright, whatever. And then, of course, Nibiru did not come, and we did not die. And she said, oh, I had to euthanize my dog because he was being aggressive. It had nothing to do with the conspiracy. And she actually started omitting lines from her website that were actually archived, so everyone can still see them, and she pretends they don't exist. But again, this woman was, I think she's still alive, though I don't see why she wouldn't be, but severely mentally ill. Like, it's uncomfortable. And yet, people still believe this. Like, people unironically believe Nibiru is coming to kill us all, and it's real. And it's like, you believe something that was dreamed up by a mentally ill person, and you still believe it. It's so stupid. Info. General. Panspermias, this probably came from planet Yonder. And it's actually really amusing because people keep clinging to this. When Sedna and Eris were discovered, people were like, oh, that must be Nibiru, and it's going to come and kill us all. And everyone was like, no. Eris and Sedna, there we go. They were like, Sedna is a little bit bigger than Pluto, but that's not what... Apparently Nibiru is supposed to be, like, anywhere between as big as Earth, or, like, 5 to 6 times bigger than Earth, some shit like that. I don't know. And, this is a cool little moon. So, of course, people were like, oh, Eris and Sedna and Eris, they must be Nibiru, and they're going to come and kill us. And it's like, no, because Eris is actually smaller than Pluto, which is smaller than the moon. Very, very, very tiny, mind you. Sedna is also pretty tiny. It's a bit bigger than Pluto, but it's still very, very tiny. And their orbits, like the perihelion, doesn't even get anywhere near Earth. So it's like, no. There isn't even a way the gravity of these objects can even reach Earth. They can't even reach some of the nearby planets. They're so tiny. But whatever. When Comet Ison came flying through, people were like, oh, it's gonna hit us all and kill us. We're all gonna die. And everyone's like, no, it's not. They were like, you wait and see, it'll happen, we're gonna be right. And Ison flew by the sun, and broke apart, and vaporized, and didn't survive, and never hit Earth. And these people were like, oh, it must be something else. And they still believe this. They still believe this bullshit. And recently, the newest incarnation is they're talking about Planet 9. That's been suggested, out past Pluto. And this one, people are like, oh, this one must be Nibiru because they say it's about 10 times bigger than Earth. So this one has to be Nibiru, and it's going to come and kill us all. And, of course, people were like, no, because if we do find it, its orbit, again, its perihelion, will come nowhere near Earth. And even at its great size, even its gravity won't affect us. But people still believe this. Or people trying to blame various earthquakes, like in Chile and Japan and all that, on... It's like some comet, that like a different comet this time, and it's like, no. Earthquakes are caused by internal stresses in the Earth. They aren't caused by gravitational external forces. I mean, they could theoretically be caused by one, but it would have to be a very large object passing really close to the Earth. A comet just could not do that. Like, I'm talking a planet larger than the Earth, passing really close to the Earth, causing, like, perfectly aligned stresses on a fault line that just pull it a little bit. Like, you need to have a very strong gravity field for this, so it can't happen. But people still believe this, and it's like, alright. So, that's always fun. I'm always here. And people have actually asked me about Nibiru, and it's like, why are you talking about Nibiru? And it's like, because it's not real, that's why. But, I figure I'll talk about it, because why not? But again, even knowing the source material for the Nibiru cataclysm, people will still believe it. Like, they don't care. Like, I once made a comment on I think it was a video about Trump or whatever. I don't know. It was some video where conservatives flock to. And I made a comment. What was it? It was like a fake conspiracy that involved, like, tap water or something. Oh, I can't remember what it was, but it was like some comment I made about something being in tap water causing some health effect, and it was an experiment to see what would happen. And a bunch of people started commenting and actually believing this shit. And after a few days, I then commented again and said, guys, I just made it up. It's not actually real. And some people were like, and some people actually got mad at me and said, no, it is real because of this, this, this. And it's like, oh my goodness. I made something up on the fly. Somebody believed it. I, the creator of this lie, said it isn't real. And people defended it, said, no, it is real. And they started making these fake connections to other things about it. And it's like, my. So again, people who are mentally ill enough to believe in these conspiracies, they don't care about reality. They don't actually live in our world. Like, they physically live here, but their mind isn't. And that's why it's an illness, because they are severely detached from reality. And it's very, very sad, because these people generally live very unhealthy lives, and sometimes even kill themselves, and it's just like, it's unfortunate. So yeah, there, I've talked about Nibiru. It's not real. You can link all you want, you can talk about it all you want, but the source material for it is a mentally ill person who made shit up because of brain issues. So it's like, there's no way, the only way for Nibiru to be real is if it's by some catastrophically, crazy fluke that her delusions somehow actually matched with life. And this is a really cool planet. It has like that 3 separate, because of reflection from something. I think the moon. This atmosphere looks pretty cloudy. Actually, let's land on it. Ah, shit. Well, so much for that. Unless I can find it again. Wait a minute. I have a travel log, don't I? Ah! See, I'm a genius. Well, I don't want to land on the dark side. Okay, I'm landing on the dark side. This isn't where I wanted to be. We're gonna move to the day side. Wow, this atmosphere is very thick. Very hazy. That's actually really cool. What's the atmospheric pressure looking like? So it's about, it's twice as thick as Earth's. Let's zoom out. Let's info this stuff. The atmosphere is mostly made of carbon dioxide, oxygen, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen, argon, helium, water, and krypton. That's exciting. That is very exciting. Actually, I always mention, if you're gonna just talk about a conspiracy, you have to look at the source material for it. Like, where did this idea originate? Because if you want to if a conspiracy is a tree, like a conspiracy theory, you want to cut down the trunk. You don't want to slash at the branches because you won't get anywhere. So the Nibiru cataclysm can be 100% written off as fake and stupid and something you should not believe in, because the source material is just so preposterously stupid that it's not even worth talking about. And this actually goes with other things too. Vaccines causing autism, for example. The source material for that idea comes from a paper that was written in 1998 that was then found, upon peer review, it was found to be falsified. Information was added, and the person who wrote the paper retracted the paper and said, yes, okay, we added stuff to it, it isn't real. But people don't care. They don't care. The person who made the initial claim came out and said, it is not real, we made it up. But people still believe it. So that's another one. Chemtrails. The idea for chemtrails originated from, I forget what year it was. It was like 1999 or something like that. But there was a paper written by someone in the Air Force, a cadet or an airman or someone, and he wrote this paper. It was called something. It was along the lines of weather modification owning the skies by 2020. And all it was a hypothetical paper talking about using weather modification on battlefield situations to basically help your troops or to hamper your enemy. And somebody caught wind of this, and they thought that it was real, and it was happening now. And then, of course, the same person who probably got a hold of this, being an idiot, looked up at an airplane and saw contrails and doesn't understand what water is, and thought, oh my god, planes must be doing this, and they're actually doing it, and then they're spraying chemicals to control our minds. And it snowballed from there, and there are people who unironically believe in chemtrails, despite the fact that the source material for the conspiracy was a hypothetical paper that had nothing to do with mind control. Like, the closest thing we have to chemtrails, I guess, is like cloud seeding, and that's when they just like dump, I think it's like cobalt dioxide or cobalt oxide or some shit like that, into clouds, which makes them, you know, produce more rain, because clouds form by water condensing on like particles in the air. So like, you know, that exists, but that's not it. Or HAARP. People complaining about the HAARP thing causing earthquakes and weather modifications and mind control. But what HAARP is, it's basically it's an observatory is what it is. It observes it's an aurora observatory, that's what it does. So like what they do is they'll send radio signals into the ionosphere, and they bounce back, and they gather information by that. Or during aurora, they'll scan the ionosphere with it, and it's like it's an observatory. It's an ionosphere observatory. That's all it is. But people look at it and they think, oh, it's a big scary thing. They're going to kill us all. But the source material for that one is it is just an observatory. Like, I'm building a giant antenna. Am I controlling the weather? I hope not. That'd be quite the responsibility. Atmosphere. This one is mostly carbon dioxide, oxygen, sulfur dioxide, propane, ethane. I don't know. Nitrogen. Something. I know these ones. I always get tripped up. God damn it. Sulfur. Oh, that's hydrogen sulfide. Oxygen. C3H8. I think that's actually propane. Argon. C2H6. I know these compounds. The C, like the CH, the carbon hydrogen bonds. Like they're hydrocarbons. Is what they are. Helium. Neon. CO. CO. 1 minute. CO. It's an organic chemistry compound. CO compound. Carbon monoxide. See, I knew it was familiar, but God if I know, I'm stupid. So we have our hydrocarbons, your oxygen compounds, your very small with carbon monoxide. But it has a fair bit of oxygen, so that's pretty decent. You know, I should just keep, I have an organic chemistry book right next to me. I should open it up and actually do fact-checking, but I don't. But I'm not going to admit that I'm not going to make whatever. Either way, so yeah, if you or anyone you know believes in Nibiru, I'm sorry for your loss. Actually, there is one thing that's similar to it, which was the Nemesis theory. Nemesis was the name given to a theoretical companion to the sun. Either a brown dwarf or a red dwarf. It's either or. But they basically have this idea where there's a large gravity, a dense object that orbits outside the Oort cloud and is the sun's stellar companion. And every like 25 million years, it gets close to the Oort cloud and knocks comets into the inner solar system and cause mass extinctions, because there seems to be a it's like in the geological record, mass extinctions seem to happen at between a 25 to 35 million year time frame. So there was I thought there was something that was causing this, you know, clockwork extinction thing. Incidentally, they were never able to find Nemesis, and further calculations found that no, it's not there. There was one idea for another planet. I forgot what they wanted to call it. Oh, I want to do that. What was it called? 1 minute. Nibiru. See, I'll fact check while I'm doing this on these things, because why not? But there was another planet. I forgot what it was called. Tycho. There we go. Or Tyche. Tyche. I want to say Tycho, but it's not Tycho. It's teach. I can't even pronounce that. Either way, it was another idea for this proposed object in the Oort cloud that was causing disturbances, but it never actually happened. Yeah, it's similar to the Nemesis theory, only it was different in some other things. But either way, so like there's all these ideas, and some of them have some credibility, other of them don't. Nibiru does not have any credibility because the source material is a mental illness. I don't know why Zeta Reticuli is used so often in alien abduction stories or alien contact stories. It doesn't make any sense. Because Zeta Reticuli is like a trinary system, and it's like 19 or something light years away, and there isn't a whole lot there except for the planet that the Nostromo found xenomorphs on, because that's real, you know. No, it's not. But I don't know. There's actually one idea that was talked about, or it wasn't an idea. It was like a U.S. Air Force report. I think it was from like the 70s or 60s, somewhere around there, where there was this woman who could communicate with aliens telepathically. Oh, I think I missed that one. For this one, I don't know if it was mental illness or if it like didn't actually ever happen, because that's also a good chance. But apparently there's this woman who worked with the Air Force, and she could apparently telepathically communicate with this creature they nicknamed Hands, that's from a planet orbiting Proxima Centauri, or Alpha Centauri. No, I think the alien was from Alpha Centauri, but that alien also talked about another alien race that was like these tall, 7-foot tall, humanoid creatures that were, you know, friendly, and they weren't harmful. They apparently had a sense of humor, and they were from the planet orbiting Proxima Centauri, or something. And apparently there was like this telepathic internet that aliens put information in that anyone can tap into if they know how to. It was all really, really weird, but weirdness aside, it was actually very interesting to read about. I forget the actual name of it, but it was like, all I know is like the alien that she apparently channeled was named they nicknamed Hands, and it talked about how on its planet they were visited by these tall creatures from Proxima Centauri, and it took like months for them to travel. It took them like it was like 6 weeks, whatever, to travel from their planet to his planet. So theoretically, their planet was either also in the Proxima Centauri system, or it was from around Alpha or Beta Centauri. They don't really. It's never determined exactly where Hands was from, but it talks about these other aliens. They had names. What were they? 1 minute. Aliens from Proxima Centauri. The alleged aliens. They had a name. What was it? 8-foot tall humanoid aliens. Ancient code. This is a bullshit website, but it'll have the information I need. So I hope it does. Yeah, this is the one where it has a picture of the weird creature. What were they called? They have a name. I remember reading about it. Now I'm actually looking. I know you can't see me moving. I'm currently tabbed out scrolling. I apologize, but this is really important. It actually isn't, but you know it is. Xenos. There we go. SCN or CENOS. Xenos aliens inhabited the Proxima Centauri system, and apparently they visited Hands planet. Alien Hands. That is the disease. That's not what I'm looking for. Alien telepathic Hands. Hands. There we go. The Hands alien was contacted through telepathy via human contactee. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Back to the game. So yeah, it was an interesting idea. I think it's bullshit, but it's still fun to think about. I can't really think of any way telepathy would work. There were some ideas where it's like quantum computing Like, if the brains of quantum computers, you could theoretically communicate telepathically using quantum entanglement, but that violates a few things in physics, because you can't actually send information via quantum entanglement, as far as we know. But, I don't know, it's really cool. Some of these crazy UFO ideas, and whatever, like, a lot of them are dumb, but they're still fun. I'm not going to discount that we've never been visited, or that we have, because, like, I don't know. The universe is very big and very old, so there's a chance, a remote one, there's a chance that we may have been visited a couple times, or once, or I don't know. But I lean to believe that the vast majority of contacts and UFO sightings all have terrestrial origins and aren't actually related to aliens. And it's just interesting. But it's been 30 minutes of me talking about absolutely nothing of value, so I think I should end it here. My throat's getting really dry, my voice is getting more and more raspy. I don't know if you've noticed. It's also 4 in the morning. Actually, no, it's actually 4:42 in the morning. I need to go to bed at some point. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll be back with more videos later. And yeah, space.